Mi gente, welcome to TAKEADITO. Now, before we begin, I just want to set something clear. A lot of you are thinking, why is it TAKEADITO? I get the take part, but why the dito? Listen, straight away, this is not because of Despacito, so you can X that one out. It's also not, sorry to say Mexican fans, because of TECATITO. No, I'm Peruvian, everybody. It's Tiradito. Just over 20 years ago, under a sweltering hot summer in Japan, Brazilian national team of 2002 won a historic 5th World Cup under Luis Felipe Scolari. The squad was blessed with an embarrassment of riches. From Rivaldo to a 22-year-old Ronaldinho to Ronaldo o Fenomeno Nazario, and of course, Roberto Carlos and so many more. They beat Germany 2-0 and claimed their 5th, number 5 World Cup. Well, 20 years later, and here we are, Brazil entering the World Cup, favorites to win the whole thing. But the fact that it's been 20 years says a lot about A, the national team, and B, the biggest question that Brazilians have. Can they finally deliver? Well, weirdly, there are some similarities between the 2002 team, of course, and the 2022, which is also basically led by the fact that they need to win the whole thing once again. First, a few reminders of what's at stake. After joining in 2016, where already it's included 3 Copa America titles and Olympic gold, of course, Coach Chiche is entering the World Cup one final time. So this is an emotional story for Brazil. It's not just a practical one. The Brazilian national team knows that they want to win this not just for their country and not just for themselves, but also for their manager, who they consider as a second father. Then there are the players themselves. Just like Scolari's 2002 team, they're all arriving just at the right time, ready to do this, ready with their own goals and objectives. Let's begin with the obvious. Neymar Jr. At 30 years old, this may not be his last World Cup, but it's definitely his last World Cup where he can really headline and champion and lead and showcase the best of what Neymar Jr. is all about. So this is big for him. Luckily for him, the timing is perfect. In Ligue 1 under Christophe Galtier and PSG, Neymar is loving life. 8 goals, 7 assists, and with the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi, Neymar is back to something that I love. He's back to being happy. He's back to being Santos Neymar. And that's very, very important, not just for himself, PSG, but of course, the Brazilian national team. There are many similarities to Neymar and what Ronaldo Fenomeno Nazario, my favorite Brazilian ever, was heading towards in 2002. He was cursed with a lot of injuries leading up to that tournament, and many questioned if he could really deliver. But finally, Ronaldo enters, and he became the Golden Boot winner, and of course, one of the most important players of the Brazilian national team, not just at that World Cup, but ever. Neymar Jr., by the way, is entering the World Cup with the same kind of connotations. He has 3 goals left to match Pele's all-time goal-scoring record. But for him, it's not just about that. It's about leading the way for this Brazilian national team. We'll have to wait and see if he can deliver. Speaking of delivering, how about Vinicius Jr.? Keep dancing, Vinny, keep dancing. This kid is not just a young prodigy ready to make a blueprint on the footballing stage. He's already done that. He's won the league multiple times. He's a Champions League winner. And at 22 years old, just like Ronaldinho, he's ready to showcase what he can do. This is a massive opportunity for Vinicius Jr. to not just, say to Brazil, I am here, but also alleviate some of the pressure of Neymar as well. His hero is Ronaldinho, and I have no doubt that he will enter this World Cup, just like Ronaldinho did in 2002, and give his absolute best and give us all those highlights. And, lucky for us, because we have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, we can see them over and over again. I don't care what anybody says. I want you to dance every single time, Vinny Jr. The thing about this Brazilian team is that offensively, they are so deep. As I mentioned, it's an embarrassment of riches. How about Manchester United's Antony or Barcelona's Rafinha? We haven't even talked about Gabriel Jesus, who's absolutely killing it with Arsenal this season. They have so many weapons, and that's the scariest thing about this Brazilian team. What if I told you that my own Felipe Coutinho from Aston Villa might not even go? That's how deep they are offensively. In 2002, however, it wasn't just about jogo bonito. It was about experience. Remember, okay, there was the 31-year-old Cafu, there was the 29-year-old Roberto Carlos, and the 30-year-old Rivaldo. In the same manner, in 2022, the likes of Casemiro, Alisson Becker, of course, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, all these players are going to be a needed voice in the dressing room. This is the beauty of Brazil: youth and talent, and at the same time, experience. All of them can do something very special because it's a perfect balance of what it takes to be a champion. Here's the thing, everybody. Brazil are my pick to win the whole thing. Now, partly I'm being a little bit biased because I want to see a South American nation win the World Cup. It's been too long. In fact, it was until 2002 when that happened. Since then, European royalty has taken over. So part of this is me wanting Brazil to do well. Now, the question marks obviously are defensively, but people forget that the Brazilian national team qualifying to this World Cup only conceded 5 goals. That's pretty remarkable. Now, there are clear question marks, specifically defensively. That's always going to be a question for Brazil. But people forget that Brazil under Tite are actually very good defensively. They only conceded 5 goals in turn to qualify for the World Cup in this time around. That's a really great achievement, taking in mind that you're trying to qualify out of arguably the toughest qualifying campaign in the world. Now, to mirror that to 2002, Coach Luis Felipe Scolari's team only conceded 4 goals, one of them only in the knockout stages. That's really impressive. So this Brazilian team is more than just offensive flair. They really are resilient when it matters. At the end of the day, Brazil have all the ingredients to win this, and I'm hoping that a South American nation really takes it to all those European giants. The question will be, can they deliver? Can the likes of Neymar Jr. and Vinicius Jr., Cunha, Felipe Coutinho if he goes, Gabriel Jesus, Thiago Silva, they have the players, but can you deliver? Can you make it happen? And can you make it happen in the most alien of territories, in November? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, I'm very excited because finally, hopefully, Brazil enters with the #1 power rankings. And that's something to definitely dance about.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.